For some, life is like a long and winding road. For Tom Kaiser, it's ladders, with brand new adventures, sometimes up, sometimes down. Sometimes he climbed off, and sometimes he added an extension. But he never tired, raising a ladder when someone else needed one. That's what makes his life so exciting. In 1926, Erwin and Irma had their only child, Thomas Randall Kaiser. While growing up in Los Angeles, he discovered his love for music. Not surprising, since his father played music for a living. 9-year-old Tommie got this piano from his dad. Tom took piano lessons at home. His love of music gave him culture. His athletics gave him strength. He joined the YMCA, where he played basketball, baseball, and football with the boys. Teaching himself to swim prepared him for his weekly trips to the beach, where he grew to love the ocean and taught himself to body surf. The Y coach, Cal Frazier, made the boys go to church at least once a month. Before long, Tommie enjoyed going on his own. Tommie wasn't always an angel. One night, he climbed up the wood-framed half-built house onto the roof. He fell off. Too bad he didn't have a ladder. The sand pile cushioned his fall, but he still broke his wrist. Tommie spent many summers in San Luis Obispo with cousin Larry Austin, his mom's nephew. Larry's dad, Uncle Merle Austin, taught Tommie how to fish. Tommie always relished eating at Uncle Lawrence Austin's restaurant, the best restaurant in downtown. Sometimes Tom trekked across town to sit on the porch at Grandma Kaiser's and watch the adults play cards. When not fishing or watching card games, he would go to Morro Bay and enjoy the beach. Tommie attended Washington High School in Los Angeles. He became a Christian at 10th Avenue Baptist Church. He enjoyed the relationships he developed and became a regular member. He spent his free time at home building gymnastic equipment. He perfected the handstand to see how long he could stay up. He graduated in 1944 toward the end of World War II. On his birthday, at the tender age of 18, instead of being drafted, he joined the Navy. Perhaps it was his love for the ocean that prompted him to become a sailor. After basic training in San Diego, he climbed aboard a steam engine-powered train bound for Bainbridge, Maryland. The black smoke covered his clothes with soot and turned his t-shirt black as coal by the time he got to signalman school. 16 weeks later, Tommie graduated and traveled by train to San Francisco to board the USS Fremont. As a signalman, he climbed lots of ladders to get to the signal bridge and flash lights. Just as his ship was setting sail for Honolulu, the engine room caught fire. While the ship was being repaired, the sailors went to beer camp on the island of Hawaii. It was tough duty. Even during the war, his love for music grew, and he taught himself to play the saxophone. The ship's band learned Jada Jada, Jing Jing Jing. Then, after 20 months in the Navy, he was honorably discharged in 1946. He earned the GI Bill and enrolled in Pepperdine College, located at Vermont and 79th Street in East Los Angeles. He majored in math and minored in music. Then he met the love of his life, Jean Huff, and wrote down her phone number. At first, things didn't go so well. He called, but she wasn't home, so he talked to her sister, Dorothy. After many talks with Dorothy, he reached Jean and asked if she would go with him to church. She thought he was a square and declined, but Tom did not quit. Tom and Jean were married at 10th Avenue Baptist Church on June 12, 1949.
I know that moment divine when all the things you are mine.
After graduation from Pepperdine, he worked at Hughes Aircraft. Then Jean's dad told him, "You should become a fireman." Tom's supervisor asked, "Why would you want to become a fireman? You could get killed." Tom replied, "But you get a good pension if you survive." Since he was so athletic, he breezed through the physical exam and became an LA City fireman. In 1951, he started working with ladders in earnest. He moved up in the world quite literally and quite often. After several years, he became an engineer and lived every little boy's dream. He drove fire trucks. Back then, most of his days were spent polishing trucks and playing handball. He even got to drive ladder trucks. But the job had its dangers. Once while working on top a triple-action rig, the hose pressurized and knocked him to the pavement, and he broke his wrist. Again. That was a downer. His fireman friends gave him the nickname Tom Terrific. In 1961, he battled the devastating Bel Air fire. He also fought the 1975 Tujunga Canyon fire to keep a house from going up in flames. During those years, he built a 4-unit apartment complex where he rented out 3 and lived in the 4th. He gained valuable small business managing experience. He and Jean started growing their family. His first daughter, Patty, born on July 29, 1952. Soon after her arrival, Tom sold the 4-unit apartment so he could buy beachfront property. His job required him to live in the LA city limits. Lucky for him, a friend told him about Playa del Rey, rare property in Los Angeles with an ocean view. Tommie built his 3-bedroom, 2-bath dream house in Playa del Rey. He imagined it, framed it, trimmed it with Palos Verde rock, and installed huge glass windows for a magnificent ocean view. Then Jean gave Tom his first son, Greg, on September 4, 1954. In 1955, they moved into the house that Tom built and continued building or repairing this or that, so ladders were a common sight. On May 22, 1956, Tom welcomed his second son, Jeff. As soon as Jeff could walk, Tom took all his kids to the beach whenever he could. Tom and Jean helped build Del Rey Baptist Church, meet neighbors, visit members, attend home Bible studies, and sing in the choir. Tom's second daughter, Peggy Sue, born on January 16, 1959. It wasn't long before Peggy got comfortable playing around ladders. One day after Tom climbed up the ladder to a scaffold, he dropped a painting shield. It slashed her little face. Tom rushed her to the hospital for stitches. He felt horrible. On the bright side, the scar fits in the crease of her cheek. By age 33, Tom got married, became a fireman, built apartments and his dream house, and brought 4 wonderful children into the world. Tom loved exciting family vacations. They started with tent camping, moved up to a small trailer, then a camper and boat. On the Big Sur Gorge trip, Tom floated his family one by one through a gauntlet of terror on a tiny raft through not just 1, but 6 gorges. After a vacation to Lake Cachuma, Tom bought property in Solvang. He planned to build a home there to retire. God had other plans. After several years at Fire Station 95 on Century Boulevard, he transferred to Station 80, a 5-minute drive from home. A fireman's work schedule means a predictable work schedule. So Tom got a painting contractor's license, and on his days off he would paint. He made trades of labor and services with other firemen. He climbed ladders to fight fires, and now to paint houses. In 1967, LAX expanded, bought the house that Tom built, and bulldozed it to the ground. So, Tom moved his family to Seal Beach and learned the true meaning of carpooling. His once 5-minute drive to work, now a 30-minute commute. Once settled, Tom and family joined a local church and he became a deacon. After several years meeting in a school, the church broke ground in Cyprus on September 26, 1971. He served and participated in many events at Cypress Park Baptist Church. One of the biggest events ever? Giving away his first daughter, Patty, who got married there in 1975. It takes courage for fathers to give their daughter to another man, but that was not the first or last time Tom performed an act of courage. On March 1, 1978, Tom saved the lives of 193 passengers on Continental Flight 603 headed for Hawaii. Tom was recognized as a hero for being one of the first on the scene for his alert and aggressive attack on the fire prior to the arrival of the main station. As was his habit, Tom studied the Bible while on duty at the little house on the runway. Tom and his partner, the only two there, first heard metallic scrapings, ran outside and saw the jumbo jet's tires blow as it raced toward takeoff. The next 300 seconds were crucial. Tom maneuvered his gigantic crash rig down the runway, dodging debris as the plane, fuel tanks ruptured, careened to a halt with 197 souls trapped inside. A ring of fire surrounded them. Tom dashed his rig through the blazing inferno and fought it from the inside out. He directed his partner to spray whitewater foam on the people to keep them from burning. Tom Terrific helped save 193 lives that day. Later that year, Tom became a grandpa for the first time on September 23, 1978, when Jennifer was born. Then in 1981, he got his second granddaughter, Rachel. After 27 years, he retired from the fire department. He went full-time into the painting business. He soon purchased a fifth wheel. He was never too busy to spend quality time with his adult children or his grandchildren. He and Jean took them on vacations all up and down California. Tom and Jean took a 3-month vacation and fifth-wheeled around the United States with Dorothy and Keith. Then in 1995, the couples drove to Alaska where they met a special little boy who would become very important to Tom some years later. Then the surgeries began. First, he survived back surgery. Next, he replaced a hip. Well, his surgeon did. But before long, things got better. In 1987, Peggy Sue got married. Tom gained another son-in-law. Tom retired from the painting business, sold the property in Solvang, sold their house in Seal Beach, and bought a house on Cerulean, a few blocks away in Garden Grove, where he and Jean live today. Tom's first daughter-in-law joined the family in 2006 when his son, Jeff, went surfing in Indonesia and met a special young lady, Connie. They got married and he brought her home to America. Soon after that, Tom became a great-grandfather on August 19, 2006, when Jennifer and Kobe had Grant James Gradis. Tom Terrific got a new nickname, Papa T. When his granddaughter Rachel had a baby in Alaska, he got his first great-granddaughter Addison, December 30th, 2006. That little boy Tom met years earlier on his road trip to Alaska, Jason Hofseth, ended up marrying Tom's granddaughter Rachel. Now Tom has 5 great-grandchildren. To top it off, he got another beautiful daughter-in-law when Greg and Sonia got married on Catalina Island in May of 2014. Tom still goes on road trips. One of the highlights? Tom visited the house where he watched his grandmother play cards when he was a little boy in San Luis Obispo. The Historical Society designated the Kaiser House a historical building. He doesn't climb many ladders these days, but that doesn't stop him from looking up as he thinks about flying across the Pacific for his next trip. Hawaii?
Bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far beyond.